My name is Chuck Leah. I am a Americana singer-songwriter and record producer. I'm also a paleontologist for the Houston Museum of Natural Science. We're here in Nashville at the historic Blackbird Studio A. We are recording my new album, The Road to Medicine Bow, and we are all extremely thrilled and happy to be here. So the last several years, we've recorded at the Power Station New England and made wonderful records there and love the Power Station. But this year, Brian and I decided we wanted to come to Blackbird, which is just iconic.
I'm Brian Vibberts, 7-time Grammy-winning engineer, recording and mixing Chuck Leah's new album here at Blackbird Studio in Nashville. Chuck and I have known each other for years, and we've always talked about working together. When this came up, he thought, he gave me a call and said, "Are you available? Are you available?" And I was. So we were both excited instantly, like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it on this album. It's kind of been a long time coming, and it's beautiful.
The title track and the title of the album is The Road to Medicine Bow. Medicine Bow is a small town in Wyoming, but about 120 some odd years ago, late 1800s, paleontologists from the American Museum were riding through there, met a sheep herder who built a cabin out of dinosaur bones. So what would happen was the paleontologists would load the bones onto wagons, ride through the Indian camp or by the Indian camp into Medicine Bow, load the bones onto a train, and then those would go to New York and be prepared for exhibition. And so I came up with the story of a paleontologist who was digging there and fell in love with an Arapaho woman. And he is hoping to see her on the road to Medicine Bow, and that's the whole tag of the song.
My name is Greg Scelsa, and I'm a longtime friend and fan of our dear friend Chuck Leah. First of all, I love Chuck as a person, but also his voice is so iconic and so unique, and to have a chance to work with someone that has a very identifiable sound was just a joy to me. And then when I started hearing the songs, I was just blown away by the quality of his songs and the lyric content. I've always been a fan, but when I dug deeper, it was just really amazing.
As a little boy, I just always desired to make songs and be creative and come up with unique ways of writing and arranging that using the tools that I had available, which were not much at the time. I have psoriatic arthritis, a PA, and with flare-ups it affects my hands and joints, and it's pretty painful, but the most painful thing is playing, actually. I like people to listen to my albums in order, right, in the order of the songs, because we put a lot of effort into building the trip for you, Very fortunate at my age to be working with the class of musicians that I always deal with, and it's a dream come true for most musicians. Not only are these guys wonderful musicians, but they're also great friends, and it's great to make records with the people you like.
My name is Jeff Victor. I am a professional musician. That's all I ever did. Chuck and I did our first work together probably in 2012, so it's been about 13 years. And we've done about 3 records. This would be the 3rd for me. And it's always a blast, and we just have fun. It's never not fun. The main thing when I play piano, organ, the emotion has to come through my fingers. But as a group, that's a whole different story. If you get a group of guys who don't really care for each other, you're gonna probably hear that in the music. It'll sound cold and clinical. But when there's laughter in the room and there's good feelings and everyone's comfortable in their suit of skin, the music is gonna show that. That's the magic.
One of the reasons for being at Blackbird Studio is I think they have probably the best microphone collection in the world. Anything that I would want to use is here, which is perfect. Most of the stuff I'm using is the standard things that I use most of the times. I'm using tube microphones and ribbon microphones. We have drums and bass, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, violin, piano. We have B3, we have the Wurlitzer. All the musicians are playing at the same time. Some are doubling up on instruments. And that's one of the special things about this album and how we're recording it, because everyone can see each other, they vibe off each other, and within that, it's the magic in the room. You hear that in the audio. So I want to capture that with some of the best microphones available at this studio.
Blackbird is a studio that is world famous and it's really known to be top of the line. And Chuck, of course, is a very experienced artist and producer. And he's worked in some really amazing studios. But when he had a chance to come here, he just jumped at it. And I think it really says a lot about striving to get to the pinnacle of his craft by not only having the best studio, but the best musicians, the best engineers. And I think it's fantastic.
These are all my friends, And then we have Nathalie Bonin on violin, and she is just amazing. One of the finest musicians and world class, and her and, well, actually any of them, they are all the best at their craft.
My name is Alan Messer, and I am from England, and I am a photographer. Chuck is great to work with, not only on the business angle, but also on a personal level. And the meaning of the album cover, to me, isn't about the meaning of the photographer who took it. It is about the ability of the photographer to bring the music to the people's attention visually, but also capture the art of the person. In this case, it's just one man. So the album cover is all important. You're kind of bridging the gap between the public, the artist. Sometimes the artist really knows what they want. You're a photographer and you're just like a tool in that thing, and they use your creativity to achieve something that they want to go with. I love that.
With this record, I've been thinking about my age, right? I don't know how many records I have in me. I have 9 solo records at this point, but I've made and produced many other records, and it's an important part of my life, and I just want to continue making the best records I can for as long as I can. Hopefully this isn't the last one, but if it is, I want it to be the best one. I always want the next one to be better than the last. That's always my goal.
The impact of this record could be really amazing because Chuck has had a very loyal following for many years. But this record, just based on what I'm hearing, could just take him over the top to a plateau that he's not achieved yet. And I think as an artist, he's so deserving of that opportunity. And I think this is the one. I really do.
I'm in a good place in my life right now, and artistically and just in my life. The people that I love and the people that I'm around. I couldn't ask for anything better.